Okay, let's go.
This is a breath of fresh air in the MCU.
I feel like people are going to see this, relate to this, be inspired by it.
This is representative of people. Like, you go outside, there are black people, brown people, queer people, trans people. Yeah, they should be superheroes.
I grew up collecting comics, and nobody in my comic collection looked like me. For young brown girls to see a young genius inventor and a superheroine, it's about time.
I have a memory that is burnt into my brain from the 90s when I was growing up. It is me reading through one of those pulpy magazines. I feel like if it was National Enquirer, that kind of something. And they had an article that was talking about who should be the next one to take up the cowl, after Keaton is gone from Batman. And what they did was that they had like a whole bunch of actors, and they put the cowl over the actor's face, so you only get to see their mouth, but they had like a little quote or a little line underneath them, giving you a bit of a hint as to who the actor was. And so this was the 90s. So these were people like Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and I think Russell was involved in that. There's a few names that was prominent at the time that was like, okay, this is the kind of thing that we're going to do. And they also had this blackface. Not blackface, but like a blackface. A black actor with the cowl. And it was Eddie Murphy. And I remember looking at it, and I have this memory of just like for a second being like, Because, that's kind of weird. You don't really think of it. Which is weirder for me personally, because growing up, Batman was never white. Batman was Bruce Wayne. He didn't have a color. He was Bruce Wayne. I never really thought too much about it, which is kind of hypocritical on my part, because when the New Adventures of Superman came out and Lex showed up, Clancy Brown's Lex showed up for the first time, the shading and the coloring of it, I'm like, Lex is a black man? This is great! But in my more adult life, I started to go back and think about things associated with representation and what it actually meant. Representation matters. Being able to see yourself accurately depicted on the screen and not just like a drug dealer or, some other rando was important. I grew up watching old reruns of Defenders of the Earth. And my hero was Phantom and Mandrake the Magician. Mandrake, Defenders of the Earth. Those were my heroes. I was never a fan of Luthor. He was put there, as far as I'm concerned, that was not me. He's big and strong, and his whole thing was, and I know I'm downplaying it, somebody will remind me, but his whole thing was that he had super strength, that he was tactical. He was basically a G.I. Joe as far as I'm concerned. He wasn't doing it for me. But that was the black representation. And then you had Adventures of Galaxy Rangers, and everybody loved Goose. I too loved Goose, but the psychic girl was more my haunt. I really liked her psychic powers and the abilities that she had. The black guy that was there was also very cool. Doc was very cool with his little AI spirit, now that you think about it. But he never really played to me either. So my options were either super strong black guy, superhero, or very techie black guy, and I was somewhere in the middle. I know tech, but not that that grand for me growing up. So I gravitated to heroes that I gravitated towards. I say all of that because we like to believe in this modern world that we're living in that, when people say that representation matters and it's important, that it's just people being, childish or snowflake, which I find is the stupidest term to call anybody. Or worse, woke. Which is funny because like a lot of people don't know the history and the importance of the word woke, but that's another conversation for another time. But people make this whole scene and this whole fuss about being woke when someone asks for representation. And it's not just like in the black and brown community. I mean, it's the notion of, as much as I love Breakfast at Tiffany's, I can't deal with the Asian representation that was used. Or like I always go back to the idea of Crazy Rich Asians being optioned into a film, and an executive, and this is real, an executive went to the author, Mr. Kwan, and was like, they wanted the lead of Rachel to be a Caucasian woman. Because clearly people still have this belief that straight, white, and male is, the be-all and end-all. I'm going to read for you something that I had scribbled down here because I always come back to it. When straight, white, and male becomes the default setting, it is not good. This worked back in the day because comics was designed to heal and lift up young white boys, but every child needs heroes, even good ones that look like them. And I say the comics were designed to heal and uplift young white boys because young white boys were designed to go out and rule the day. Some of them rule the day, but they were designed to go out and rule the day. You needed heroes for them that reflected them, to give them an idea of how they supposed to be. So Doctor Strange's manservant is an Asian dude called Wong. Now Wong is a fully fleshed out character because Asians are real. They're not just some stuff you see in an anime. No, these are a real grouping of people that need real representation on the screen, which is why it's annoying to me that since 2021 we had Shang-Chi and we don't have Marvel again. Representation is important. Representation is important even if you don't fully recognize it for yourself. Which kind of takes us to like Ironheart. There is no one version of a black woman. That is why it's important to show different sides of the spectrum, different sides and different shades and different attitudes and different attributes. Also, Ironheart is a very cool series. I very much enjoyed watching it. I sat down and I watched it and I'm like, yes, well done, Dominic. Because someone doesn't look like you, that you can't enjoy a thing, or because a life experience is being shown on screen and you don't understand it, that it becomes a problem and you have to review bomb a thing and be ridiculous. And it's not just, races and colors and ethnicities. What is the point of view of the queer community? Be the sassy best friend and all that kind of stuff. Representation matters. Representation matters. That's the thing. Diversity and representation does not mean that, oh my God, we're not going to be able to understand this. It means that you're letting some other voices who may not necessarily had or have a chance before to be able to be seen, to be heard. You don't have to like every story that comes on the planet, but you don't have to be an ass about it either. Because we are all allowed to have a voice. You should watch a show with Muslim and Arabic characters and be like, I don't understand everything, but you know what? I understand. I can get behind the story. Okay, I'm going to be still now. But if nothing else, if you take away nothing else, remember this. Representation matters. It's not just meant to be straight, white, and male, which is something I always keep saying. You need it. We need it. Film and television and art and culture needs it.
Okay, let's go.